Watching for fog overnight tonight into the early morning start tomorrow. So let's give you a first alert to that fog potential. Dense fog being expected from the National Weather Service. They've issued a dense fog advisory for the entirety of our viewing area from 10 p.m. tonight until 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. Now they are saying that it will be in spots, not widespread dense fog, but certainly some pockets of dense fog possible. So the fog potential, some of the key points that we're watching for. We're going to be dealing with this thick localized dense fog with average visibilities around our viewing area of a half of a mile to maybe 2 miles. It's going to be from 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. So early in the morning when fog will be at its thickest and most widespread. So if you're heading to tailgating for LSU's game, obviously an earlier kickoff, you may run into some fog towards that tail end of the 7-8 o'clock hour. We're going to have to deal with this Saturday, Sunday, Monday, even into middle part of next week. So keep in mind we may have it daily. Use those low beam headlights. Watch for kids as well around area neighborhoods, and then eventually the morning bus stop as we move into the school week. So we talk about super fog, and super fog is when fog is enhanced by smoke. We've got a lot of agricultural burns, sugarcane fields being ignited. We've got some other things where we've had a few wildfires pop up, some marsh fires down along our coastal parishes. So that has added some concern for seeing thicker fog. The smoke adds microscopic particles to the air, some condensation nuclei, wet burns. It can add moisture to the air. So with rising moisture, we can see lower visibilities as well, and the smoke itself can add to the reduction in visibility. So some of the problem spots were in St. James, St. John the Baptist Parish this morning, as well as Lower Lafourche Parish near Golden Meadows. So could see some active burns if they continue during the evening and overnight, adding to the plume and adding to those lower visibilities. So we'll watch for that for the morning start tomorrow. That's our really only weather impact for our election day Saturday. You can see temperatures will start out comfortably cool in the mid-50s so if you're going to be at the polls as they open, and then the rest of the day pretty much in the 60s and 70s, an enjoyable day at that with mostly sunny skies. So we're keeping out the rain. So weather not going to be an excuse not to exercise your right to vote. We'll give you a first alert to what we're tracking next in terms of some changes to our weather forecast. It's not going to really be taking place until the end of next week. Could even be a week from today. This is the latest snapshot of the European model with its afternoon run, and it's starting to suggest a little bit later of a time frame. It was more so kind of Thursday night into Friday, now indicating more of a Friday advance with this front. So we could be dealing with a wetter forecast for the tail end of the work and school week. Timing questions, though, still remain. The American model is actually now pushed back a little bit even into late Friday, early Saturday. So still some uncertainty on exact timing. We'll take a closer dive as we get a little bit closer, but it looks like sometime Friday for the worst of the weather. At this time, we can't rule out a few strong storms in our forecast. Now, we're not calling for severe weather outbreak at this time, but one or two strong storms. We could see what looks to be a line of storms developing out ahead of this, so damaging wind would primarily be the concern of that, but all forms of severe weather certainly possible at this point, but not guaranteed. Now, in terms of a temperature change with this next front, we had an Arctic blast with the last one. This one's going to be of more Pacific Ocean origin, so that means a little bit less of an impact in terms of the temperature changeover with this next system that will be moving through by the tail end of next week. So the weekend shaping up to be beautiful. High temperatures in the low 80s both Saturday and Sunday. That's about 10 degrees above where we should be this time of year. So not feeling very festive if you're going to be out doing some holiday shopping this weekend. You'll notice that daytime highs stay in the 80s for a good chunk of the next 7 days. And it's not until that front starts to move in Thursday into Friday that we'll start to see a little bit of a cool down heading into the end of next week.